The four powers of the mother are four of her outstanding personalities, portions and embodiments of her divinity, through whom she acts on her creatures, orders and harmonizes her creations in the world, and directs the working out of her thousand forces. For mother is one, but she comes before us with differing aspects. Then who is our mother? The one whom we adore as mother is the divine conscious force that dominates all existence, one and yet so many sided. To follow her movement is impossible, even for the quickest mind and for the freest and most vast intelligence. We can see those lines with the conversation with mother and the sadhaks. Bonjour, bonjour Dosima. Was everything all right on second? Yes, mother, everything was all right. Was everyone happy? Yes, mother. How did you march? Well, your knee stood the test? Yes, mother, the knee is all right, but I did not march. What? You did not do the march pass? No, mother, I was there to give the orders. Give the orders? What orders? In front of the microphone, mother, attention, and all that for the march pass. And then to blow the whistle to signal the start of the items. Oh, you were giving the orders to conduct. And what did the other captains do? Did they help to organize? Yes, mother. What did they do? Mother, the central theme, it was A who introduced it. That I know well. Then, mother, basing on this theme or idea, the captains of the different groups collaborating among themselves taught the movements to the group members, and this time there was no interruption between the drills, one followed the other in a smooth sequence. Yes, it is better like that. There is a continuity and the interest develops. Then what did you do? Almost nothing, mother. I conducted the march past, the mass exercises, overwear and supervised the overall organization, blowing the whistle from time to time for the drills to begin. Well, on the whole, everything went off very well. Yes, mother, very well. Not only that, the atmosphere was charged. Everyone was happy? Yes, mother. How long did it last? An hour and a half, mother. Did the band play for the drills? Not much, mother, only for the march pass, mass exercise, and Aurobindo. They did not play the Bande Mataram? Yes, mother, just after the march pass. Were you there for the 1st December at the theatre? Yes, mother. You liked the play? Yes, mother, and more so because I felt the atmosphere was charged. Oh, yes. Yes, mother, on both the days, 1st and 2nd of December, one felt above all that atmosphere was charged. It was vibrating with your presence. Yes, this is what I want. It is good. The mother is the consciousness and force of the Supreme, and far above all she creates. But something of her ways can be seen and felt through her embodiments and more seizable because more defined and limited temperament and action of the goddess's forms, in whom she consents to be manifest to her creatures. There are three ways of being of the mother, of which you can become aware when you enter into touch of oneness with conscious force that upholds us and the universe, transcendent the original supreme Shakti. She stands above the worlds. She stands above the worlds and links the creation to the ever unmanifest mystery of the Supreme. What is the Supreme actually? Since we are going to see how Sri Aurobindo speaks about her Shakti and her and the mother of his description about her, if we go through some of more dialogues or conversation, we can catch up easily what Sri Aurobindo likes to impart to us. So let's see again. Bonjour, Dosima. Bonjour. Is everything all right? Yes, mother. As it should be. I think so, mother. Oh, you think? You're not sure? Yes, mother, I think so, yes. And are you progressing well? That, that you know, mother, and not you. Not yet, mother. Then you must hurry up, otherwise you will not able to catch up with me. I advance very fast. Yes, that is the difficulty. But do not leave us behind. We want to follow you, mother. Do you think you can? No, mother, never. This we feel that without you we can do nothing. Then it depends on you. You must make the effort. But what I see within, the promise of what is there, pointing to the heart, what you must do, the indications which I receive, it is these that I pursue. But it seems that you are not yet conscious of all that is happening within you. No, mother, not yet. I am very far. But I am beginning to perceive something. But for me, this is the indication. What I see within, it is this that I follow. It is this that I catch hold of. The light of this awakened consciousness, the progress in the aspiration. I do not see the dirt and the defects that are there all around, nor the clouds of inconscience that cover the being. All this I sweep aside, and I see the central being, the soul, which tells me of the possibility that is there, that is trying to express itself and to emerge. When I look, the screen which was covering it opens itself, and the soul tells me all that is to be done, and it is this that draw one forward, so that there is a contact with the central being which expresses its will to act directly to make the necessary progress. I am trying, mother, but it is difficult. And yet I am constantly pushing you forward. Mother, we are still very far from what you expect of us. There is a gulf between what you see within us and what we are outwardly. But you must build a bridge between the two. It is as simple as that. Then build it, mother. And if I do it, will you be able to keep it constantly? Mother, for you it is so easy. You have only to say, and it is done. But for us, it is very difficult. You cannot compare yourself with us. I am not comparing, but you do not take the pains, the will and the order, the effort and the patience to progress and to sustain it. It is this that is lacking. With the help that is there at our disposal, what could we not do? What could we not accomplish? Try with a will, with humility, to acknowledge the help without the ego intervening, and then you will see, not just trying for 2 minutes and falling flat the next moment. No, not like that, but steady, steady, with a constant aspiration to progress and an unwavering patience, always at each step and on each occasion. Try to feel the presence constantly and untiringly. Forget the results of all the actions and find the lesson they bring for you. Each action has something to teach. Try to find that instead of being overwhelmed by the cause and effect. For each event, know how to stand back a little detached and find the clue that it gives for the progress, the truth behind each action. So now we can able to figure it out, the supreme or the manifestation what Sri Aurobindo talks about, the conscious force, the original supreme Shakti which links the creation to ever unmanifest mystery of the supreme. We have seen so far how mother insists the sadhak to look within, to act within. So her poise is to connect the human to the original Shakti, the divine supreme. So the one original transcendent Shakti, the mother, stands above all the worlds and bears in her eternal consciousness the supreme divine. So we saw that how she requests the child to connect within, so that it is she who connects the soul to the divine, the supreme divine. So let's see how what Sri Aurobindo progresses. Alone she harbors the absolute power and the ineffable presence. So we saw the presence. The child is requested to feel the presence now and then. So because it is the only way the Mother Divine can connect the soul to the divine. Ineffable presence, containing or calling the truth they have to be manifested. She brings them down from the mystery in which they were hidden into the light of an infinite consciousness and gives them a form of force in her omnipotent power and a boundless life and body in the universe. The Supreme is manifest in her forever as the everlasting Satchidananda, manifested through her in the worlds as the one and dual consciousness of Ishvara Shakti and the dual principle of Purusha Prakriti, embodied by her in the worlds and the planes and the gods and their energies, and figured because of her as all that is in the known worlds and in unknown others. All is her play with the Supreme. All is her manifestation of the mysteries of the eternal, the miracles of the infinite. All is she for all a parcel and portion of the divine conscious force. Yes, nothing can be here or elsewhere but what she decides and the supreme sanctions. Nothing can take shape except what she moved by the supreme perceives and forms after casting into seed in a creating Ananda. So let's see something very important about the word the Supreme. To see the invincible Supreme, the fathomless unknowable, and be one with that look which reflects the imperishable. Such are our ways. Mother, thou hast opened the doors that seemed forever closed. Mother, we implore thee, lead us to that shoreless infinite. Bestow on us a life of eternal bliss. Is everything all right? Yes, Mother. You had told me on my birthday about the Supreme. But, Mother, for me you are the Supreme. My child, that is saying the same thing in one way and in another. What you do not understand? No, Mother. Look here. In fact, it is the same thing. There is no difference. If it is the Supreme who has chosen, or it is I who have chosen. I prefer to say it is the Supreme instead of me. You know, it is like this. In the terrestrial evolution, man who is emerging out of the inconscience and ignorance is guided by the Supreme. And the Supreme, in order to manifest his reign upon earth, labors to uplift the human consciousness so as to establish the divine consciousness. And for this, he does not delegate someone, but he himself manifests physically, even in the ignorance, to accomplish his work. And it is I who have been appointed to raise up man and the creation out of this inconscience. It is I who am responsible. What I wish, the Lord also wishes. I am the Supreme in the unmanifest. But in the creation, the Supreme acts only through me, exists only by me, and wills nothing but what I will. There is no distinction to be made, but for men, the Supreme is someone beyond everything, in his transcendence, who cannot be attained. He who is above ignorance and does not concern himself with anything. For them, I would rather say that it is the Supreme who has done this or will this. I do not want to meddle with their idea of the Supreme, because if I said that it is I who had done this or had wished so instead of the Supreme, then it would be like a disaster A shock. People with their ego would not able to accept that the Supreme could manifest in the inconscience. It would seem to them a folly. It is for this reason that I avoid speaking of myself, and I prefer to use the word supreme. To me, it makes no difference, and moreover, people remain convinced that it is the Supreme who is guiding them. But, Mother, for me, you are the Supreme. I do not know anyone else but you as the Supreme. It does not bother me if one calls me the Supreme or not. It makes no difference to me. I know who I am. I do not crave for big names like an egoist. What I know is that work advances and what it is I am trying to prepare, and not what will add or aggrandize my name so that men call me the Supreme. I wash my hands of all this. I do not need it. I am very happy like this. As long as men are convinced that it is the Supreme who has done this, or that it is He who protects them and guides them, it is fine with me. I do not want to interfere in all this or to proclaim that it is I who have done it. For in reality it is the same thing. I do not want to force people. If it pleases them to state that it is the Supreme who acts and not me, what difference does it make to say it in one way or another? For me it is like this, but for you it is different. I am the Supreme for you. Yes, Mother. Let me conclude with three or more lines for tonight, and we continue tomorrow. It is He who, in His transcendence, upholds the universe and is immanent in the creation, who resides in the smallest atom, one who is responsible for the terrestrial evolution and its manifestations, for lifting it up to the light and Ananda. But I cannot proclaim to the people that I am the Supreme. People will not be able to accept it. She as the Supreme? How can that be? It is not possible. Here I want to pause. Why Mother states like this? Because Mother in a human form, she moves with the people. She was in the ashram. So a person who is in the human form, everyone thinks that they are equal to them. But here, since she came in that form and she doesn't want to open herself and to show to people who is she, but it is through the conversations we come to know how humble and how down to earth and how simple was the Divine Mother. So I just want to hint that here, because people, when they see Mother, they saw just as another human being. So here she says, people will not able to accept it, she as the Supreme. How can that be? It is not possible. For them, the Supreme is someone who is unimaginable. I do not know if for them He is without form or that which cannot be attained. They will go mad if they think in this way. The ego will not able to accept it. That is why I prefer to say that it is the Supreme who wished thus, and never pronounce that it is I who have so wished or I who have chosen. I tell you, it is by choice that I choose to remain behind the veil. Do you understand? Have you understood well? Thanks for listening. We'll meet tomorrow with the Supreme.